I've never felt so helpless in my life before. I couldn't think straight. I couldn't stop myself from constantly checking my phone, hoping she'd finally call. But it never happened. She never called, not even after the amazing thing I had just done for her. And slowly but surely, the reality of my situation set in. I was never going to get her back. Ever. It's been more than 10 years since that moment. Now, some may call it rock bottom, but that moment was actually a catalyst for my greatest creation. More on that in just a second. First things first, I want to tell you a story, something that I have never told anyone before. No, seriously, it's super embarrassing for me. Hi, my name is Chris Sider, and I am a professional relationship consultant specializing in breakups. I also happen to be the founder of Ex-Boyfriend Recovery and have helped thousands of women through their breakups. But you don't care about that. All you care about is the story of the moment I realized I had no chance of getting my ex back. And like all good stories, it starts with a boy helplessly in love with a girl. Her name was Brooke, and truthfully, she looked exactly like that actress from that movie, The Princess Bride. Now, I knew the moment I saw her, the exact moment, that I wanted her more than I have wanted anything in my entire life. But she didn't want me. At least, not at first. You see, when this story took place, I just happened to be 17 years old. And at 17, I was not exactly what you would call a stud. Nope, I was shy, self-conscious about the way I looked, and didn't know the first thing about talking to a girl. But somehow my feelings for Brooke trumped all that. I knew that in order to win a girl like her, I was going to have to get outside of my comfort zone. So I did, and by some stroke of luck, I won her over. But honestly, that's not what I want to talk to you about today. Nope, what I want to talk to you about today was how it all ended, because that's probably what you're most interested in. And I also want to talk to you about the shocking lesson it taught me that has stuck with me to this day. You know, everything seems so perfect to me. I did everything a good boyfriend at that age should do. I wrote her cute little love notes, I bought her flowers, worshiped the ground she walked on, pretty basic stuff. But I'll never forget the look on her face when she told me she didn't love me. When she told me that she actually hated it every time we kissed, that she had feelings for someone else, and that she had already slept with him. Now, the most heartbreaking thing I've ever seen before was footage of a sea lion crying after losing its child. It just sat there howling and whimpering on the ground over its fallen baby. Like I said, it was truly a heartbreaking scene to watch. And I'll never forget the sounds I made after my breakup with Brooke as I was crying. And while I hadn't lost a child like the sea lion, my pain in that moment almost felt comparable. I writhed and whimpered around on the ground like a helpless mother losing its cub over Brooke. I went from one end of the spectrum to the other. One moment cursing her for the pain she was causing me, and the next moment texting her and begging for her back. Sound familiar? But you want to know the one thing that got seared into my memory more than anything else? It's the fact that I had no one to talk to. I couldn't talk to my friends. I was too embarrassed. I sure as hell wasn't going to talk to my parents. There was truly no place out there for me to go. No place I could go to get my feelings out. No place for me to go to learn the correct way to handle a breakup and subsequently get my ex back. But it also explains the embarrassing thing I did next. Now, looking back, I wish someone had stopped me. It would have saved me from having to live through the most embarrassing moment of my entire life. I remember it so clearly even now. It was 10 days after the breakup and I was hurting bad. But then an idea entered my head. Brooke always loved romantic letters. Maybe I could write one and win her back. So I threw myself into it, writing an epic love poem in an effort to get her back. I might as well have been screaming on the hilltops, "Roses are red, violets are blue, take me back because I love you." But it didn't work. She had shared the embarrassing love note with her friends, who in turn shared it with their friends. And pretty soon I was widely known as the pathetic guy who couldn't take a hint that things were finally over. Girls would snicker and point as I walked down the halls of my school. Again, I was 17 years old at this time. Brooke and her new boyfriend just sat back giggling at the crazy ex who wrote her a love note. And every night that my head hit my pillow, I remember thinking, I just want this pain to end. Now, at the time, I thought it was all her fault. And yes, even now I will admit that she deserves some of the blame. But I admit that I deserve most of it. I had become determined that I was going to win her back, and that was fine, but I went about it the wrong way. I made a lot of classic mistakes. I approached her from a position of weakness instead of strength, and it resulted in a heartbreaking loss. But it's not like they taught us breakup protocol in school. It's not like my mother or father pulled me aside one day and said, hey, here's exactly what you're going to have to do to get next to fall in love with you again. Instead, all they said, all anybody said was, move on. But I didn't want to move on. I wanted to win my ex back. Unfortunately, there was nothing out there to guide me down the correct path to do so. It didn't exist. But that was then, and this is now. Now, what if I told you that I had created a place where you could go to get all the things I just mentioned, where you could go to learn what to do to get your ex back, if that's what you want, where you could go to talk directly to me, my wife, and my team, a place that could connect you with hundreds of like-minded women going through the exact same thing you are? Well, I'd like to introduce you to the Ex-Boyfriend Recovery Private Support Group. Now, I know, this is the part of the video where you roll your eyes and scoff at the idea of ever needing a support group. But I want to show you a quick little clip of what this support group has done for women in similar situations as yours.
I just think I was like the 75th member.
Right, yeah.
But it's really cool to see it growing.
Yeah, that's been one of the best things. It's absolutely my favorite thing to do because I love jumping on the Facebook Lives. I love I feel like people will get their money's worth when they buy the product and stuff and then go into the Facebook group and they get sort of like a group of women to help support them through things. I'm there. My wife is there. I jump on Facebook Live.
Perfect. It is absolutely perfect. And I think that's what separates you from the other programs is because you have that actual support that's there.
Thing I was concerned about, and then of course I just lurked and watched, and it was so comforting to see what everyone was going through because you started to get to know people, you started to get to know their situations, and you felt like you had your friends.
Right.
And then at the same time, your wife kindly was responding at times to specific questions, but then other members were responding. So when you're in this kind of constant, you're going through this no contact and you're trying to reconcile everything going on in your mind, that is the best support group because it's silent, it's quiet. You know what I mean? It's in your private space.
Yeah,
and
that's
what I needed was my private space. No one else knew about it, and I could go there and I felt like I was supported as well as if misery loves company.
Right.
So.
What were your initial thoughts of the Facebook group?
I loved it because there were people in all stages of this process. And I found a lot of wisdom there. I was able to learn from other people's mistakes. I was able to rejoice with them when they were successful and cry for them when they were not. It was just a really great experience.
And so, I mean, you were pretty active. I noticed you came a lot on Facebook Lives. I saw your profile picture and everything up a lot during posting. Seems like you worked with my wife a ton. So, one of the sort of feedbacks I keep hearing back from people on the Facebook group is that they love that they can see other people going through the exact same thing that they're going through. Because so many people feel like they're alone. Did you feel like a little bit of that vibe going on?
Yeah, exactly. It's great not to feel alone.
Yeah.
And you feel like that because nobody else knows what you're going through.
Yeah.
Until you find someone who knows exactly what you're going through, and then you click and you understand each other.
Now, I don't know if you noticed, but each of those women granted me those interviews after they had gotten their exes back. In other words, they all utilized a private support group in their journey to get their exes back, and each of them told me personally that it made the biggest difference. But they aren't alone in seeing incredible successes within this support group. Hey, I decided to do a quick screen share just so you can see some of the great success stories that we've gotten through the Facebook group. Now, we've gotten a ton of success stories, but I figured it wouldn't be really productive for me to go through hundreds of success stories and just, read all of them. So I picked out some of the best ones, and I'd like to go through them a little bit with you. So this one's from Anna. She's a part of our ex-boyfriend recovery private support group, and I want to point your attention to this little paragraph here. As I quickly and quietly packed, he asked me to stand up. I told him I really had to focus because I needed to go soon. At which point he pulled me up and said, "Stop packing. Don't leave. I'm sorry. I love you. We need to stay together." I stood there looking at him, and he grabbed my hand and said, "Put your engagement ring back on, Anna." So that's a pretty good one. This one is pretty awesome. It's from Charlene. "Hey guys, just wanted to share an aha moment that I had. For those who don't know, I got my ex back." And then she just goes on to give some advice. And then this one is, "My former ex made a confession the other day. Here's a part of it." This one's pretty interesting. "Then I saw you again. You looked so beautiful. You looked so confident. You made friends. You got so impressive and reflect. You made me fall for you all over again. All these feelings came back, and I realized how perfect you are. You are everything I could ask for. I was a effing fool for not seeing it before. And I knew at that point I need you in my life." Pretty cool there, right? This one's relatively recent. "Good news, my ex asked me to take him back. I'm so happy." And then you can see, "Congratulations, another EBR success." This one's really cool. "Yup, ladies," I blotted out her name, so, privacy purposes. "Yup, ladies, this just happened. Been back together for a month now. Don't give up. She's engaged." He sent flowers to my house with a note saying, "Date Saturday night? It's a surprise." What is going on here? This is not him. And then this person said, "So I got my ex back. I actually never initiated anything, not even after no contact pride. What can I say?" So you can see there's been quite a few success stories the ex-boyfriend support group has gotten for women, and I thought it would be fair to show them to you. It's really fascinating. My team and I have been monitoring women in the group very, very closely, and we have noticed that they have a slightly higher success rate when it comes to getting their exes back than women who aren't in the group. And at first, we were kind of struggling to figure out the reason behind why that's the case, but here's what we ultimately settled on. Imagine for a moment that you take it upon yourself to try out the no contact rule, which you're going to find is usually the backbone in any successful ex recovery campaign. The problem is that we estimate there is an 80% fail rate with the no contact rule. In other words, 80% of the people who try it out end up breaking it at some point. But those 80% have nothing to hold them accountable. They don't have an outlet to turn to when they are struggling, a place where they can get an army of women on their side. And ultimately, having someone around to help you through your breakup will inevitably raise your chances of success. Now, I'm a big believer that the proof should always be in the pudding when it comes to purchasing anything online. That's especially true in today's day and age where there are so many out there who want to prey on your emotions to get you to buy something. So let's just boil things down to their most simple essence. If it is proven to work, then it's probably worth the money. And if there's no proof that it works, then it shouldn't be worth anything. And yet, I keep seeing women fall for the same tricks from some of my more, let's call them shady peers, time after time. It usually goes something like this. You have just gone through a breakup, the worst one of your entire life. And after some soul searching, you determine that you want to get him back. So you search around online and land on a miracle cure. One of those X-Back products that guarantees you will get him back, but only as long as you follow the exact directions in this product. And if you send this text to your ex, it'll unlock a magical pathway in his brain, which will suddenly cause him to look at you like a whole new woman. But you want to know the thing I always find really crazy about these gurus selling these miracle cures? It's the fact that they never show their faces or do an interview with the women who get their exes back. I wonder why. Me, I love doing interviews with my success stories. Okay, so today we have one of the most special guests I think I've ever had on because you're a part of the Facebook group and I call you Buffy.
Okay, so hey Chris, so I
Hey.
was in this situation where
And when I found out about the Facebook group, that was what sold me on buying the book, because I knew that I needed support from other people that were in my same position.
Okay, here's my ultimate point. I can prove to you that my private support group has been a direct factor in helping select women get back with their exes. I have the interviews that I have made public to prove it. But the fact that it has actual proof to back up its effectiveness doesn't even come close to the essence of what the group's going to provide for you. Now, imagine a safe place where you can go to get advice and support. A place where you can get so many different perspectives on your exact situation. A place to vent without making your friends mad for talking about him again. A place where women from all over the world instantly become your best friend. An environment where it's okay to have freakouts. A community or family where we keep each other strong through encouragement. Where you come out the other end of a breakup actually feeling empowered. It sounds too good to be true, right? Well, I'd like to show you something. So you've just heard me say all sorts of really incredible things describing the ex-boyfriend recovery private support group. But what if I were to tell you that all those incredible things that you heard me say didn't come from me? They came from the women in the group. So a couple of weeks ago, my wife had the idea to ask people, this is my wife in case you were wondering, hey, ladies, what is your favorite thing about this group? And we had a pretty overwhelming positive response. This woman said, support without judgment, support and the good attitude of the girls here, live videos, the fact that the girls are always helping and answering and you can really say what's on your heart without feeling ashamed, hearing others' opinions and advice, supporting others who are going through a similar situation. Then we have support, friendship, laugh. When I feel lonely, the group is here. The EBR family. My wife chimed in and said Chris Sider. This person said the support on the bad days and the advice on any and every situation. Best thing I did was find this group, I think. Support and friendship. Getting to vent. I like giving advice because I'm better at helping other people's problems than my own. Support and reading the other advice and stories. The fact that I could talk to my ex for hours and you all get it. My friends were sick of me a long time ago. The support, advice, and ability to vent without being judged or making my friends mad. That seems to be a pretty popular one. Support from people in the same situation. Plus, I love the Facebook Lives. To see yourself in other circumstances. When giving advice, you can reflect on yourself and ask, am I taking this advice too? We all teach, but not necessarily do. I'll just take a few more ones. I've just joined today from the UK and I've been scrolling through some of the comments. Wow, what an amazing and supportive community. I wasn't sure what to expect. What a lovely bunch of people you all are. And then this person says, my favorite thing is the funny banter. I'd have gone crazy without the group. Literally the only reason I bought the book was for the group. And then this person, just one more since I'm enjoying this myself. This person says support, support, support. Everything else said above. When you're losing your SHIT and your family and friends don't get it, and want you to move on already, you can come here and get support and love and advice from women who are going through the same thing and understand. So by now you're probably sitting there and wondering, well, how the heck does this private support group even work? Well, it's really quite simple. This is an elite private group hosted on Facebook so that it's easy for you to access from anywhere. Your phone, laptop, computer, tablet, anywhere. It connects you directly with me, my wife, my team, and hundreds of individuals going through the same thing you are going through. Once you get connected, you'll be able to ask us questions, talk about how things are progressing with your ex on a day-to-day basis, and feel the love and support from women who actually understand what you are going through. Now, all that we ask from you is that you participate, that you share your experience, help others with their situations, and pay it forward. Like I said, it's really simple. Oh, wait, you know what? I forgot something super, super important. This is probably without a doubt one of the biggest benefits of the private group. I try my best to host Facebook Lives every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday where I answer your question in real time for an hour. Check it out. One of the things I wanted to show you was just how active that I personally am in this group. So every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I try my very best to do a Facebook Live for usually about an hour where I answer your questions, just basically rapid fire as many questions as I can answer. And I went to the video section of this of the Facebook group, or the private support group we have here, just so I can show you just how many I've done. So that was my very first one, but you can see, this is my ugly mug right here. You can see how many I've done over the course of the existence of this group. And I want you to take notice of the time on each of these videos. They are very lengthy because I like to go really in depth and try to answer as many questions as I possibly can. Sometimes I miss a few people, they slip through the cracks, but generally I try to make sure everyone's answered. And if I don't get around to answering questions in that particular Facebook Live, well, there's always another one around the corner. So if you don't know what Facebook Live is, it's pretty simple. It's like having me be there in real time, to where you can just simply ask me a question and I will answer it during the video. I will answer it during the live feed. And you can see I've just consistently kept doing these videos. And, actually that's a video of my daughter, my wife posted. But, each one is close to about an hour, sometimes 40 minutes on the low end. But one of the things that I thought has been really cool is people have started taking my lead and doing their own Facebook Lives within the group. You can see a few here. Well, that's actually me again. But a lot of women have actually started doing their own Facebook Lives in the group to ask questions about their situations, or even answer questions from other people. And it's been truly an amazing thing. And I'm just actually going to click on one of the Facebook Lives so you just can see. This is the most recent one. You can see I can't even get the camera straight there, but it's pretty in-depth. It went for about an hour and 7 minutes. You can see there's about 200 comments here, and I tried my very best to answer every single one of the questions that was answered. And so now we come to the inevitable question you have probably been wondering since you landed on this page. How much, Chris, is this going to cost me? Well, I want to make this resource, the private support group, available to you at an affordable price. Actually, when I told my team my proposed price for access to this group, they flipped out on me. No, seriously. Chris, you need to charge way more than that. I mean, if you'll believe it, many in my team were wanting me to price this group at monthly payments of $240, which I thought was a little insane and outrageous. Chris, you charge that much, $240, just for an hour of phone sessions with you. This group is going to take a constant commitment from you every single day. You should price it at what it's really worth, they said to me. But I wasn't going to be deterred. I stuck to my guns and got them to fall in line on the price I thought was appropriate. So where they wanted me to charge you $240 every single month, which is roughly around $2,880 every year, which again, I think is a little bit insane, you could get access to the Ex-Boyfriend Recovery private support group for just one payment of $97. That's going to get you everything I just talked about today. Now, I want you to take a look below this video right now. You're going to see a big yellow button. Go ahead, I'm going to push you to click on that big yellow button that says click here to purchase now to lock in your discounted price today. Again, this is heavily discounted because I do know some of my more shady peers are charging $240 a month just for access to their own private groups. And it's my opinion they're not even as active as I am. So if you purchase this private support group, you're going to be joining one of the largest breakup support movements online. And hopefully you'll make some wonderful new friends along the way, like-minded women dedicated to getting their exes back. So click on the big yellow button that says click here to purchase now to lock in your discounted price today. Now here's what's going to happen the minute you click on that yellow button. You're going to be taken to our secure checkout cart where you're going to be able to give us your name, email, and payment information. Immediately after you input the necessary information, you're going to be taken to a page with instructions on how to access our private support group via Facebook. Now, in addition to that, you're also going to be getting an email from me with your access instructions just so nothing gets lost in translation. Product fulfillment is a huge deal to me, so not only am I going to give you access to the group on immediately after you purchase, but you're also going to be sent an email like I said, so nothing gets lost in translation. So it's really that simple. There's nothing more to it. So click on the big yellow button that says click here to purchase now to lock in your discounted price today, and I'll see you on the other side. Take care.